Hello. Hello. Today we're going to be finishing Citizen Sleeper for realsies this time. I know I said that we were going to do that Tuesday, but we just ran out of time. So the schedule for today is we'll finish up Citizen Sleeper because we're literally right at the end, probably less than like an hour's worth of gameplay left. And then we're going to take a quick break, and that's just so I can refuel because like you humans, I have to go and get food. Um, yeah, I know it sounds weird. What does a satellite eat? Sunlight mainly. Sometimes space debris. Uh, but my diet is like 95% sunlight, but I have to, orbit around the planet, get into a nice position in front of the sun, and, things take a while. Anyway, let's get the game started. Put it up here in the background. How's your day? How's everyone going, chat? Come on. There we go. So we've been on the station for a little over a month. Almost a month. Well, a little over a month and a half. I actually did have to like look up like when the ending of the game would be. And yeah, we're like right at the end. So start off here with Emphas. Emphas is preparing a Matsutake. Emphas is preparing the Matsutake caps. He cleans them carefully with a damp cloth before shaving the stalks as if he was sharpening a pencil. His knife slides through them, revealing the bright white flesh within. These are good, sleeper. Very good, he says, without looking up. I bartered with Mingi for some kelp too. We can brew the dashi. Yeah. How do you know Mingi? Emphas looks up from the cutting. Emphas looks up from cutting with a smile. Everyone knows Mingi. Emphas slides the matsukake mushrooms to one side and takes out a closed pan. He opens the lid and you see a green wafer of kelp sitting in a bath of water. Been soaking in it for been soaking it since last cycle. Emphas explains. Should be good to warm now. He places the pan over the he places the pan over the burner and turns it on low. We have some time now. He wipes his hands clean and throws the cloth over his shoulder. However, there is one difference this cycle, he smiles. You have been the one providing the ingredients, so it's my turn to provide a story. I'm not going to argue. Good. The story's important to me. He gestures for you to both sit on the folding stools behind the stall. You see these. Infamous runs a hand over his forearm, tracing the circular spurs that mark them like perfect bike marks. Conway called it a anchored interface rig, a mechanical control device for piloting a heavy-duty extraction suit in low-G industrial operations. We called it a bone suit. He points to a pattern of larger circles on his shoulder. They drill in and anchor it there, then all the way down the arm. He taps each spur on the way. It maps mechanical movements to the suit exactly, one-to-one mechanical replication. You swing your arm, a 2-ton arm swings too. Okay, so yeah, it's these little circles right here. You should have seen the recruitment vids. Strong people in even stronger suits, tearing through stone and scrap. Superheroes. Half my graduating year signed up for the company's World 2 company shuttle. Conway from birth to death. He stares off to the distance for a moment, fighting with the memories. But the bone suits weren't good. The rate of failures were high. Inferiors meant arms torn off, anchors torn out, broken bones, bad stuff. Yeah. So like from what he's describing, like the suit's an exoskeleton. Or not even like an exoskeleton. Um if you've seen those like someone making there's like a video online where someone's in a quote unquote suit and it's supposed to kind of look like the beginning of a Gundam Barbados cosplay, and like the arms are mapped to the wearer's arms. So whenever they move the arm moves, and then there's like stuff strapped to the fingers. So when the fingers move, the fingers move. That's what's going on here. Except instead of a suit that you know climb into and you're on stilts and all that, everything is actually just screwed directly into your bones, which is pretty fucking metal. So after Conway discontinued them, no longer competitive, they said, he checks the broth and turns down the heat, adding the mushrooms. So there we were, hundreds of us with surgical alterations for suits that didn't work. They sent us home, back to that company colony they spat us out. Well, that spat us out to be cleaners, drivers, cooks. They gave us drugs for the pain and told us to make something of ourselves. When I deserted, bribing some passing spacers to take me into orbit, there were there were only me and a couple of others left. The rest faded away. Arthritis, osteoporosis. They folded in on themselves like paper lanterns. That was my generation. And I'm gonna take a wild guess here and figure out that you got swole instead and decided to, make your muscles as hard as bone. The anchor points still ache, still burn. He touches the scars. What burns worse is the betrayal. I found the eye a long time now, but that will never fade. Not that and not the faces of my friends. Emphas reaches over and sprinkles a handful of leaves into the broth. It's ready. Emphas never apologized to me for my stories, and I feel that he's not looking for sympathy. He's looking for for someone to just listen to him. Thank you for listening to me. I will not let this story die, and as long as I'm telling it, it will remain. Emphas pours the broth into a double-walled metal bowl and hands it to you. The heat radiates through your hands, and the smell drifts up, rich and sharp, like a pine forest after the rain. You drink the broth slowly, chewing the matsutake and thinking. Emphas busies himself cleaning the pans in the bowl, sealing the kelp back up for another day. Then he quietly comes to sit with you while you finish your meal. Neither of you speak, preferring instead to let the story linger in the air a little bit longer. Yeah, that's just kind of a thing friends do, especially like guy friends. We'll just like sit around and we'll do like we don't need to talk. We don't need to emphasize that story further. We know that he's in pain. And, his company is soothing to me, and my company is soothing to him. It's not that there's nothing to say, it is that sometimes, in the moments after something, speaking breaks the spell. Exactly! Exactly! Like, a lot of people don't get this. The sometimes where you just don't need to speak. Your very presence is enough. So both of you, so you both idle, eager to be in each other's company. Emphas taking longer over his cleaning, his packing, and you saving the final dregs of broth. When you finally finish and hand him the bowl, you feel the spell break and the story leaves you both. And as you leave, you know that both of you are somehow a little more empty and a little more full than before. Okay, yeah, that's his storyline. And we have an upgrade point. Um let's just get this taken care of. It doesn't really matter at this point because the story is about to end. So let's head over to the Greenway. On one hand, like, I kind of want to talk to Bliss. One, two, three, four, five. Because we have like basically two types of endings. We have, well, we have a few endings in this game, but the one that we're currently on track for is the Greenway ending. Um, but then there's also Ankita's ending, where we leave with her on the ship, and Bliss's ending, where we're also leaving with Bliss. You came. Peak smiles as you walk into the climbing briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps on a plate. Tosses the mushroom caps on a crate. That's a tongue twister right there. Caps on a crate. Caps into a crate. Caps into a crate. Caps into a crate. Caps into a crate. Raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick one up and sniff it. Are these edible? Yeah, try it. I mean, I've been eating them. Peak squints at you and the mushroom before delicately putting it back down. I'll wait. We're not so used to fresh produce. Ash is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of accurate. Or rather, the taste acquires you with what we know about the mushrooms. As a recap, the mushrooms on the station are like almost semi-sentient. The gardener AI basically grows them for the people that take care of the garden. And they can have special medicinal qualities depending on who's growing them. The ones that I grew actually have the chemical I need for my stabilizer, and we can make stabilizer using just the mushrooms. I'm sure the refugees will acquire it. Ash wipes off her hands on a rag. Most of them are from Ember's moons, so they're used to eating green and growing things, not like us, XPR roughnecks. Yeah, what's XPR? This an interrogation, she glares. Either way, we're done in that place, which is all you need to know. See, when I hear Roughnecks, I think of Starship Troopers, and I don't want Ash here to squash me like a bug. Um, she looks like she could squash me like a bug in like the best way possible. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. We're going to need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. What? What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Ash stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them in a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Uh, Havenage? We aren't exactly welcome guests, Peak explains. If anyone figures out that we came in with refugee ships, we'll be quarantined as well. I I don't think the refugees, I think they're basically smugglers. Um, this is a weird type of human trafficking where like technically you're committing human trafficking, but you're basically getting these people out of a bad situation. You know, if you're in the if let's say you're in Mexico and you're trying to get over the border to the United States, you know, get a better life for you and your children. Um, and the person is, you know, smuggling you over to the other side, and let's forget the whole like possibility for a second that that person does not have your best interest at heart. That person is helping you get to the other side so you can have a better life. They are still technically committing human trafficking. However, they're not exactly trying to like, you know, sell you into slavery and shit. They're actually good people, despite, you know, committing that crime. And that's the thing with a lot of crimes, by the way. Just because it's a crime doesn't mean it's not ethical. And that's where these people come in. They're good people, but the methods are a little bit shady. Peak jumps in. The Eye has a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. Makes sense. Ash scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? No, that's actually a good reason. I mean, this is how like pandemics happen. This is why you humans have a pandemic on your planet right now. Well, at least kinda. You know, one person gets sick, next thing you know, the entire station gets sick with a disease that you you probably don't know about and your immune systems aren't ready for. You know, making sure your your the refugees, you know, making sure they're not sick and they don't have any pathogens, well, that's actually not a bad idea. We're being realistic, Ash. But these people are an increased strain. They are living people, she stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people to a single monolithic group. I don't think Esh understands the gravity of that situation. It's it's a delicate balance bringing people in from it does sound dehumanizing. I will say this. It sounds dehumanizing because it almost reduces them to, well, cargo. But or like an invasive species is probably like a better way of putting it. You know, it for example, you kudzu. Kudzu is a plant that is native to Asia that made its way here to the United States because someone brought it over here. And kudzu is a voracious vine. It just eats up all the resources in an area, and it makes it almost impossible to grow things while also making it impossible to navigate the terrain because it is everywhere. And that's what they're trying to prevent here. But instead of kudzu, it is like some unknown disease that the people on the station, again, they don't have like the immune system set up for, nor do they have like vaccines or anything like that. So they need to make sure there's that these people aren't sick before they come on. Esh slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo holds racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold. So if you're going to help, I think Esh is trying to say we need your help and quickly. Peek says, glancing at her. Peek says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon. They won't be able to find. They won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles or so. Or Havenage step forward. Well, no, not Havenage. Ash steps forward, or Havenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. I'll help if I can, but the ending of my game is going to happen in 5 cycles. So Peak looks nervously at Esh. They were hoping for something more concrete. There's things we still need to secure: water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Esh gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or my preference to siphon off the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises their eyebrows. Esh. She ignores them. Food, things can be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but there's no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access. No more stealing, Esh. Peak sighs. Yeah, I'm not stealing from the Greenway. That might ruin the ending. Like, we're not doing that. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, carve some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short timescales. And the repair components? Peak asks tentatively. Ash smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She's not wrong. As insulting as that is, she's not wrong. Let's be real here. She shoots you a glance, and I'm sure the sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. If we get everything before time runs out, perfect. If we get most of it, also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how are you going to get through? Ash shoulders the container. I thought we'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious, Ash? I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Ash. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Ash looks at you. But they might. They slipped out from an from an S&R facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You're always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. He gestures at you. Help. Wow. Thanks. Pete glances between the two of you. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the coordinate in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Ash meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies. Discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havenage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for all of us. This all suddenly becomes a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. Ash goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peek, come help me. Peek glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You're able to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We're in this together. Peek, Ash shouts. They walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the eye's ring, where Haven's cordon blinks with the tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? Okay, so this is the other Broken Spoke. Let's see. Hook, self-repair. And then Briar's hold. Okay, so we need scrap. So let's go get some scrap. Soundtrack change. Let's see. And we're still waiting. Bliss. Let's see. Virgin Freighter. So these guys haven't returned yet. No, give me some scrap. I want scrap. Give me scrap. That's fine. Okay. And insight. One thing that like I'll say that I'm not exactly a fan of is you have no idea when you're getting close to the end. So like you don't really you're not supposed to start episode flux content, which is what we're trying to do before the end, until like the end game. But if you get too far into the end game, then you're not going to be able to finish it. Okay. Need 3 more pieces of scrap. Not what I was looking for. And don't exactly have much in the way of dice. Dare I say it can be a little dicey. So, hey, okay. This is like the start of another ending. From the walkway, the side view horizon looks impossibly vast. A landscape of plating and frames. Along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. It's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He's thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting, and loose torches on the sidewalk horizon flicker in his eyes. He turns to you. Lim, he leans back the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, and staring out the ship. And this is Mina, he adds with a smile. Let's say hi to Mina. She stares and tucks herself behind Lim, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? He buries her face in the fold of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lim's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You're working on her then? Lim asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship. Or just admiring? He shifts Mina's weight to his other arm. Working? Me too, me too. He flashes a Havenage pass. I knew just to look at you. I mean, he stumbles low over his words. I mean, I'm stumbling over my words all the time. Not wanting to be misunderstood. I mean, you look like a worker. She's Mina's my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. How so? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes the Havenage contract on the Sidewheel Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey, though. But a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if that means landfall on a new world, he winks. Decades? It's a long trip. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. Sealess Foundation is sending thousands of people to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Sealess Foundation? They are Havenage's client, yeah. Some wealthy project with the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. Ah, yeah, yeah, and Rand types. They hired the whole shipyard out, helped wreck it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose, but it doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face. furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lim's neck. I'm just chatting a little, meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you, suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Havenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles, a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. Yeah, maybe. He looks out the side of your horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. We've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me, she says stubbornly, daring you to question her. Smiles and loves Mina. That's it. You hold on. He smiles sheepishly to you. We are just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them you see them talking, and for a moment, Mina turns and stops. See you, robot. Hey, I'm not a robot. I mean, I guess I kinda am, but like, mean. Her shout echoes down the walkway as she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lim. You watch them a little longer before you turn back to the impossible scale of the side of your horizon. A ticket out. Havenage offices. Let's see. Back in Utica. Simply. Okay, not much we can do because we don't have any die. We likely won't be able to finish this storyline, unfortunately. And that's sad because this is supposedly one of the better storylines. I'll have to come back and like revisit that. Let's see. Moritz is waiting for you on your way out. How have you been surviving? Moritz nods. That's the struggle. He glances around. He runs his hand through his hair. I've been meaning to ask you, Sleeper. What's it like? He pauses, suddenly unsure. I mean, what does it feel like to be a sleeper? Yeah, he shrugs. If you don't mind. I'm getting used to it. That's good, he pauses. Really good. I wanted to say I have a lot of sympathy for it, like having to find a place, having to survive, having no future. He looks down. A lot of people around here understand that. Moritz looks away, and you notice him for the first time. Not as Bliss's assistant, but as someone with their own worries and their own struggles, their own life. You feel bad for not noticing earlier. Moritz looks back at you. Anyway, I got a message for you. Bliss sent me down. We've scored another contract and she needs your help. That's the message, he pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did go to work. Bliss knows that. That's no problem. Anything for my wife. Um, in case you weren't here last time, Bliss is this really, really cute ship mechanic. Okay then, he pauses. He's doing her best to know. I know. He nods. See you up there. Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you off in the corridor. Time to help Bliss. Maybe this time you think to yourself it'll work out. But first I need food. Um, so food in us. And then let's see what Bliss wants. Let's see. You vent a section and you have a better chance of saving the remaining crops, but you will lose some in the process. The question is how many. Let's see. Or reinforce the bulkheads. Welding a zero's G farm is tricky. The torch, the heat, the sealant, everything damage the crop you are trying to save. No biome is in trouble. Every action will bring it closer to collapse. Um, yeah. We have good dice. And then I can re-roll this too. Um, let's head down to the rim and end the cycle. Complete active scenes. Ah, okay. What active scenes do we have? Because I don't think we're ready to end the game just yet. Algae stack. Negotiate access. Algae stack is controlled by a small clique of performers. If you want to use it, you need to persuade them. Ah, okay. What active scenes? Oh, peak. Sleeper. Peak catches your attention from the shadowy corner they are leaning against. Any trouble here? None. Good to hear. Come take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window, which looks across the ruined rig, ruined ring to the blinking lights of the Havenage Cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black, and all around the tugs split, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peak interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Let's see. So they're asking how we would break through the cordon. Um, probably use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? We thought we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon, Peak squints the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peak turns away from the window and rubs the forehead. Etch has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Why are you helping the flotilla? Peak looks up. You don't think it's a worthy cause? No, that's not what I'm saying. I just want to know why. We ran into them when we escaped Hawthorne. Ash insisted that we investigate the distress signal. I'm not saying we shouldn't have. Peak stares out of the window at the distant blinking lights of the arrived ships. It's just. Peak brushes back their hair. Forget it. Let's just focus on the plan. They flash you an easy smile. It doesn't matter why. We are the ones who are going to help them. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, being all out, diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon's scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get her ready. Ash certainly wouldn't mind. Let's see, how does that sound? Excellent. Peak wins. Don't get too excited. There's a lot to get sorted before we make the run. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out the window at the quarter nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong. Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Ash anywhere. But you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. It literally won't come to that. I am like 90% sure that I don't have the time to finish your storyline. Peak brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peak stretches. I'll tell Ash about the improvements to the Briar and we can rest. Let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. Peak smiles. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to help us, Sleeper. Peak smiles. But I'm very glad they did. Let's see. Blend in with the crew. Intercept comms. And end cycle. We don't really have good die. Honestly, I'm sorry for him, but like, there's no way I can finish the storyline. So it's better for me to focus on, you know, best goal bliss. And good dice. And one more. You and Bliss are floating in the base airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work. Bliss bows. Like, look at her. She's fucking adorable. Like, look at her and tell me she is not best girl. Bliss bows a little. Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do too bad yourself. Checks her tool belt. Seems like we're getting into a good rhythm. Now, the now familiar sequence of plugs and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. What's all this? Les asks a confused looking Moritz. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He has clearly just brought them in to the bay's freight dock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face adds, they were very thankful. I bet they were, she clenches her fist. What the hell is inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As she does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know. She looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a mushroom? Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom? They paid us some mushrooms? Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. God damn Haifa commune. Should have known they didn't have a shit to rub between them. This is true. This is true. They are a hippie co-op. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good. Fresh. We can sell them. To who, Moritz? Are we running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Moritz's face. I can use them. Bliss raises an eyebrow. What, 4 whole crates? Even you can't be that hungry. You can take a few, but the rest will sell. She smiles to herself. Or at least Moritz will sell, if he's so eager. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. It isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. I mean, they will. This place runs off of mushrooms. Like, seriously. It's what they eat for food. The ship can't get enough shrooms. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into the business with a couple of wannabe farmers. I mean, I'm about to get the Haifa commune ending, so what do you expect? She laughs. Prove me wrong then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You better be on your way too. Let's see. Third time lucky. Let's take another. Yeah, we won't make it. We have like 3 cycles left, and actually even less than that. So, am I going to play this game again on stream? Probably not. I really love this game. This game is great. The issue is that, like, it's a lot of reading, and let's see. Like, it's a lot of reading, and when I tried to finish last time, I hurt my mouth. Like, I'm actually in, like, I wouldn't say a fair amount of pain, but, like, it definitely hurts to speak. It's like, you know, you have a bit down on the side of your cheek, and it just, like you're just eating, and then suddenly chomp. It's kind of like that. Okay, let's go get food. scrap freighter. Wait. No. No. Don't know where else I would get scrap. Guess we like trade in the old exchange. Come on, give me scrap. Nope. Okay, end cycle. Okay, this is like the last full cycle. But yeah, like anyway, I would definitely like play this game again on my own time. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to get scrap. Like they're kind of like boned. Siphon water. Siphon water, I guess. Come on, let me input the dice. There we go. So like I do kind of want to get all the endings. And... Oh, never mind. This is the ending. Or a ending. Vika has something in her hands when you enter the lab. It looks like a knotted twist of woody stems, a ring about the circumference of a human head, consisting of a single stalk at one side and a branched woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up, and in the lights of the lab, it looks like a crown. Vika finishes your thought. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? It is. I came to plant this morning, and this loop was all that was there. She points a lump at the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisted up out of the soil. That being you encountered in the cloud, as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously, still unsure if she's somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. Doesn't work like that, she sighs. Perhaps wearing was the wrong word. She places the object on the bench, shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant anyway, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplasts, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. How did it grow? It seems the seed contained everything it needed. A self-contained entity, nothing less. She beckons you over. But that isn't the good part. Look at this. You see a cross-section of scan of the crown, its layers of plant-like structure on full view until you reach the center. There, instead of xylem and phloem transporting nutrients. Something branched and roving glints. Those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. They're not wires like those in an electrical system, but they are filaments of a conductive material, so yes? She leans closer to the screen. You see those branches? They remind me of dendrites, neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is frankly ridiculous. She looks back at the crown on the table as Rico fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realize what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with, the branching structure of the wires and pads. No, not a crown. They called it an interface. Ah, I see. The tool of your emulation, your transference for neurons to electrons, an interface. That is your gift from Gardner. You turn back to Rico. It's an interface. Rico looks at you puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Perhaps something she heard from the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you, for your frame. She shuffles quickly to the interface, a word that's stuck to this strange branched object quickly in your mind. You're right, that entity. It is the entity I've been looking for. She shuffles quickly to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which has been maintaining it, supporting it, and has been guiding it for all these decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk with you. Biko leads you to a seat. I will be here, sleeper. If something happens, if you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. You meet her eyes, clouded with age, but bright with the thrill of new discoveries. Then she places the interface on your head and everything blinks out. Hi there. How are you doing? We're just about to finish the game. Back into the river. Uh, Good, I guess. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, shame you have to guess about it, but it's good that you are doing good. Oh, how's Overwatch 2? I keep on seeing streams about it. I kind of want to play it, but at the same time, there's kind of some things I don't like about it. Hmm. Back into the river, back into the dark flow, but something is different now. It's okay. Not better than Gundam Evolution. Yeah, I have gotten to ranked. I've been slogging through the beginner quest. Gundam Evo is really fun. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. Um, for the people watching on YouTube right now, I'm just talking with chat for a bit. Um, I have some issues with Gundam Evo, but it's not nearly as much the issues with Overwatch 2. Like, it is fundamentally a good, fun game, and it's all the fun of Overwatch 1 when it first came out. You're no longer being pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the storm. Instead, it flows around you. You move, and it hurts, letting you pass. Something else resists, but it easily gives enough. You look back and see your body. Left it behind. Somewhere, Rico's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. It is excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say to you. You realize how long she's waited for this moment, for the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector, and yet she is still on the outside. You shake off the sadness. You will be her eyes. Then you see the figure, the gardener, out on the storm, panting. Yeah, like, just between Blizzard's overall reputation and just the way they released Overwatch 2, I'm not surprised that its reputation is just kind of like shit, quite frankly. Um, Saying that it's rock bottom is it's being very, very kind. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You have never felt so free. This is how Navigator must felt. Released from the prison, this, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. Gardner does not turn at your approach. They go on planting, but the voice whispers in the waters like sharply rising current. You grew the gift. The speech hisses around you. Good. I am glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same. Both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to the plant again. Feels good. My seed, I guessing, is my body. I'm guessing this ending is going to be like me becoming one with the Greenway and becoming the new gardener, which I'm okay with. The other endings imply that I leave the station from like I haven't spoiled myself on the other endings. I just know like basically like when they start, but they all seem like I leave the station, and that's actually kind of bad for me in the long run because if I leave the station, I leave my supply of stabilizer and I leave my supply of food and all that. It's not very good. See, I'm very familiar with no updates for Overwatch. I also verify some updates my lock. Good. Did you make sure that it's installed properly? Because remember, if the dead latch, that tiny little latch at the end of your all right, awesome. Yeah, like so for context chat, not chat, but for context people watching on YouTube, um my buddy here, he he had an issue where he had people breaking into his apartment more or less. And yeah, it wasn't exactly the most secure situation, so I gave him some tips. But yeah, that's good. Um, just do you have like any other like security methods in place? I mean, the lock should be good enough, but you did mention that one of them does know how to pick. So you have a higher security lock and it's installed properly. They're not going to shim the door open. You did mention that you were using handles. So did you like replace the handles with a knob so they can't like go over with some film or a wire hanger? So that's another way you can open those handle or ADA compliant doorknobs. A good lock is good, but it doesn't mean anything if you can bypass it. Camera outside my door, an alarm that triggers the door when the door is not open correctly. I replace the whole door. Okay, both of those are good options. Um, is it a network connected camera by any chance? Like a Ring doorbell? Or is it just like one that you check periodically? Maybe it's connected to a DVR. Because if it's a network connected camera, really need to be careful with those. Just because if it's not secured correctly, you could just be broadcasting it to anyone online. There's even a site called Shodan, which specializes in that. So definitely, if you have a camera, um, make sure you have a good password on it. Essentially, just a nice long passphrase, not a single word. Just think of like four words and string them together, or even better, random string from a password manager. When we finish the game, I'll even show you like what Shodan looks like. We won't go into a Shodan Safari, but I'll introduce you to the site to illustrate what I'm talking about. Um, I'll explain it when we finish the stream. We're not too far away from the end of this game, and then I do have to be careful because I am recording for YouTube as well, and YouTube really does not like hacking content. There's only a few channels that can get away with it, and most other channels get shut down hard. Twitch is perfectly fine with it though, which is absolutely wonderful. Um, anyway, um, that is good. They press a seed into the loamy depths. There is some disagreement, continues Gardner, as if you're picking up a long-held conversation with the others. They felt you were a danger, for they are always cautious, especially the fungi. Like the old loam knows known knowns wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious? I mean, fungus are living. They are living things. They have brains. The only thing that keeps a fungus from being considered living is the fact that it's rooted and it can't move. Mostly yes, although there are many among the number who favor short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm and through you, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them, they would not have joined the course. So you see that it is only fair to get your chance to join too. Ah, yeah, he's going to make me into the new gardener. Yes, become of this. Gardener stoops again. We are millions, and we grow. I hope you understand. I'm used to speaking to your kind. Well, I am unused to speaking to your kind. It has been many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with Chief Executive Trellick himself. Let's see, something really funny I found last week. Someone was sending me a little video of how to make meth. It is a lot simpler than a lot of people think it is to do that. The hardest part is getting a hold of the chemicals. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched and linked by the strange being, this artifact of the old station. The impossible dream of a senile farm administration AI, a living network. You could dissolve here. You realize, feel that decaying body you wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you, among all these other minds? You turn away from Gardner for a moment, look back at your body. A tiny, hairline thread connects it to you. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh, a sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness, an exhaustion rooted deep inside you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, answering problems, of getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh, a yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity. Make a gesture that says, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm with you. The two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break the thread, you will be free. Free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Riko's hand, you will wake back up in that dying body, with all the pain and warmth that entails. And now is the moment to choose. This is a tough decision because I have to choose between, becoming a completely digital entity and basically becoming the new farm AI, and in a sense becoming immortal, but at the same time, I could follow the thread back to Rico and I can choose to live in my physical body with all the pain that entails. It's the more human experience, but it's not really an experience worth living. I'm still chained to the station. I can't really leave it. Break the thread. Reach down and pinch the thread. Finality of this moment descends on you. Break it. You pluck the thread like a string. It snaps. Nothing changes. You stand at a point of stillness. No, dare not stand. You have no legs, no body. You are a point of stillness, a point in the flow. Your mind fizzes. A thousand new shoots break through the soil. They entwine with you, embrace you. Some part of you decays while something else feeds from that decay. The spores of your new thoughts float away and shifting clouds settle in the new soil. Then you see Gardner out there, still planting. They stop, like an old man resting in the fields, and they turn to face you. And you join the chorus, and together you sing the song of growing things. Hey, that's the ending. Let's see. Oh, in my country, you can buy a bucket of fluoro antimonic acid for less than $200. Ice bucket challenge. It's like that, but with acid. Eh, I'm not exactly too fond of the idea of an acid bath. This game was really good. I can't wait to play the other endings. Um, I definitely do those on my own time. It was definitely worth reading so much out loud that I hurt the inside of my mouth. Um, Also, I feel that playing all the endings on stream is kind of a disservice to the audience because I really feel everyone should play this game. It's on Game Pass right now, actually. So if you have Game Pass, like, go play it. You could probably like finish it in a couple days, or even like a day if you wanted to binge the entire thing over like a weekend. All right, let's head back to the just chatting screen. Let's see. Your country is that bad when it comes to managing chemicals. Oof. Yeah, that can be quite the thing. You got to be careful with that. I said that I would introduce Shodan before I left, so I'm going to stop the recording for YouTube. Um, the For the people watching on YouTube, um, that was Citizen Sleeper. Next up is going to be Scorn, and we're going to be streaming that today. So we'll likely have two VODs coming out at the same time. If not, Citizen Sleeper will be out tomorrow, and Scorn will be out the day after that. Alright, see ya.